So since I haven't reviewed a movie in so long, and I think since, July, I think was my last actual review. I put up content since then. And on other channels, of course, there's a podcast that I'm doing. Besides that, I haven't really uploaded a review since like the middle of the summer. So I guess it'll be appropriate since, it's been so long since I've uploaded a review. It'll be appropriate if I upload a review now for a movie that doesn't come out for a few weeks. And that movie is Gravity, Alfonso Cuarón's new action/thriller/mystery/ almost kind of horror movie. Lots of hype has been surrounding this movie. The trailer was very gripping. It definitely looks like something new, and it is something new. Really, there are only two people in this movie, and they're played by Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, playing two astronauts whose shuttle gets hit by debris from an exploded satellite, and basically makes them just kind of floating in midair. They really can't get this shuttle back to Earth, and it's pretty much just Sandra Bullock, pretty much just floating in space, trying to decide how she can get back to Earth. And if you have no idea, chances are she won't survive. No, yeah, I said there's a lot of hype, but when the first trailer came out, a lot of people thought it looked really bad. I think everyone who saw the trailer in the theaters, there are at least some people in the audience who laughed at the trailer, because it is kind of funny just thinking of Sandra. The movie's just Sandra Bullock floating in space, giving her annoying yell. But no, this movie isn't one to laugh at. It's not unintentionally funny. It's pretty amazing. I have not seen what many people consider to be Alfonso Cuarón's masterpiece, Children of Men. He directed my favorite Harry Potter movie, Prisoner of Azkaban, so I do still love him, even though I haven't seen Children of Men, which I know is one of those movies that everyone needs to see if you're a film fan, but I haven't. Everyone has those movies, so you know what. Yeah, but no, I still do really respect him, and from what I hear of Children of Men, he does a lot of interesting new things with his directing style. I know there's a shot in that movie which pretty much the whole climax is set up to look like one long 30-minute shot, and he does the same thing with Gravity. The opening shot of this movie lasts about 20 minutes, pretty much almost the entire first act, maybe half of the first act is one shot. I was watching the movie and I was seeing, and I was very impressed by this, how the first act, is basically just all one shot. Towards the end of that, sequence though, I was kind of thinking, okay, is this kind of gonna kind of get old? I get, that it's one shot, this is really impressive and everything, the effects are absolutely incredible. But I was wondering if it was eventually gonna get a little bit old, because I kind of got the gimmick. I'm into this atmosphere and everything, but, is it just gonna be, them floating in space and everything and it being one shot? Of course, eventually that one shot ended. I'd say there are about like 100 shots maybe in this movie, maybe less, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know how to estimate how many shots are in a movie. But no, this movie doesn't really get old at all. This movie always does new things. The two characters always are met with new different conflicts. You're always interested in what they're kind of, in all their motivations, how they're going to try to survive this whole ordeal. And what I did like about this movie is, although it does tons of new things in terms of directing style and cinematography and just visuals, and its whole craft is very unique, very different. And what I loved about that is I also really loved its simplicity. How it's a very simple premise. It's not a science fiction movie that's trying to say something. It's not an allegorical movie like Elysium is. It's not too plot heavy and very too dialogue heavy like I thought Pacific Rim kind of was. It's a very bold concept, but in terms of filmmaking and not really a story. And that's why not everyone's going to love it. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be more interested in these science fiction films that come out this year, that kind of have a message behind them, like, the aforementioned movies, especially Elysium. But, there are some people who are just going to want a really fun, cool ride with a simple premise, and that's Gravity. And, let me talk some more about, the filmmaking in this movie. The visuals in this movie are incredible. This is gonna win Best Special Effects at the Oscars. Sure, it's implausible sometimes. Some people are gonna maybe find a couple scenes a bit ridiculous. But it's never not almost jaw-dropping. The visuals are just so great. I saw this in 3D, not IMAX. I'm sure that would blow my face off, but I saw this in 3D, and it's the best 3D I think I've ever seen. Problem with almost all 3D movies are that the visuals are totally fucked up. It's very blurry. It's much darker. And the setting that this movie is in, and the art direction and everything prevent this movie from ever getting too dark or too bleak looking because of the 3D, which is supposed to, make everything more extravagant, even though it never really does. It makes everything blurry and hard to see. This movie is definitely meant for 3D. Definitely meant for that IMAX 3D experience. Also, if you go to any of the trailers for this movie on YouTube, and most of the time the top comments are saying, oh, there's no sound in space, because, in the trailer, when things explode and everything, there's a sound effect, and, everyone knows there's no sound in space. So, that's, of course, a plot hole, or, just a mistake in the movie. And no, it's not a mistake in the movie. Alfonso Cuarón knows that there's no sound in space, and he doesn't forget that in this movie. For some reason, the people who made the trailer added sound effects, even though in the real movie, when things are exploding and everything and getting destroyed, you can't hear it. And that really makes those scenes even more haunting. It might only kind of be because I kind of have a phobia of space. One of, I think, my worst nightmares is being lost in space. Like, I would never, even if I had even if I was scientifically intelligent enough, or, I was educated enough to be an astronaut and I could go up in space, I would not do it, because that fucking freaks me out. Especially with all that, the no sound in space and the lack of gravity. That made for a lot of scenes just being really, really creepy. And there's just a lot of really haunting imagery in this movie. Now, this movie does have its fair share of flaws. George Clooney in this movie, although he doesn't give like a bad performance or anything, his character did sort of annoy me a little bit. He kind of has that, he plays that, typical kind of wise ass, oh, I'm so funny, I'm so humorous, I'm so clever, kind of guy that George Clooney plays a lot, and that doesn't really work in this movie. I thought it kind of killed the mood sometimes, whenever he tried to be funny or a wise ass, and, make Sandra Bullock try to like him because he's so clever and cute and everything, and you're not. But no, besides that, I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was a fantastic thriller. Definitely check it out when it comes in theaters. Please do try to see it. If you're going to see any 3D movie in your life, or any IMAX 3D movie in your life, please see this one. It looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to give it a very, very strong 8.5 to 9 out of 10. One of the year's best so far. And please do check it out when it comes out October 4th. I still like to say that, when it comes out October 4th. Cool. And anyway, I'll see you for my next review, which will hopefully be very soon.